A number of big cities, including New York, are recruiting increasing numbers of new teachers from Teach for America, the New Teacher Project, and other such efforts. Some recent studies suggest we no longer have a traditional system and then a lot of alternative routes, but a very variegated system with all sorts of pathways that can be successful under certain conditions. What approaches to teacher preparation does your candidate value, and how would he support them? And we'll start with Lisa.
Senator McCain has been very clear that he is very compelled by the research that tells us that countries that focus on recruitment from the highest level of their universities, so the highest performing graduates across content areas, this is who they're pulling into their education system. So as part of his plan, he's saying he'd like to incentivize states to create plans for pulling that top 25% off, that those teachers then go into preparation programs or as part of their instruction, if they're in that top tier of achievers in universities, they're also introduced to pedagogy and instruction while they're in school. In Arizona, for example, we pay for scholarships for kids who perform really well in high school. That would be a good tier of kids, perhaps, to take a look at making sure that they have some pedagogy and they have some instructional part of their coursework so that they might choose at some point to become a teacher, but they would be ready to go into some more training and potentially to teach. So he's very compelled that it's vitally important that we recruit extremely strong, academically focused people to begin with. What's interesting to Senator McCain, obviously Teach for America is a very compelling program. Troops to Teachers is interesting. Right now represents the single most prevalent resource for minority men into teaching, Troops to Teachers. The High Tech High in California, they have an interesting program where one of their highest performing high schools actually certifies teachers on site. I do think these alternatives are going to become mainstream, and I think that they should. And Senator McCain is saying we have to keep that door open. So what we need is a very high standard and a very low barrier to entry. Lots of ways to come in. Lots of ways for mid-career changers like the American Board for Certification of Teaching Excellence. All of these programs are monitoring themselves, monitoring their programs, monitoring the quality of the instruction with kids, and it's quite high. There's no argument that these alternative programs are not doing well by students.
Linda?
I just want to pick up on the thread of what other countries are doing, because I think that is really important. And what you see in the highest achieving countries, again, the Scandinavian countries I mentioned earlier and Asian countries as well, is that they bring people in from the top tier of either high school or college students into undergraduate or graduate programs. They pay their way for 3 to 4 years of teacher education, which includes clinical practice in schools that are associated with the universities, what we might think of as professional development schools. They're getting all of that preparation free and with a stipend or a salary as they get in Singapore. They come into a profession that's well paid. In Singapore, teachers earn more, beginning teachers, than beginning doctors do. The doctors do catch up. They get intensive mentoring. They get 10 to 20 hours a week of professional learning time to plan and collaborate with their colleagues and get better at their craft. And they have career pathways that move forward. All of those things are part of what Senator Obama has proposed as elements of his agenda for improving the quality of teaching. He is very much in favor of recruiting academically able people. He appreciates the energy and the dedication of Teach for America recruits that come in and teach where they're needed. He also appreciates the dedication of and the ability and training of folks here at Teachers College, people at Stanford University and other places, and he appreciates the mid-career recruits coming into places like the teacher residencies in Denver and Boston and Chicago. And he's planning to expand those kinds of high-quality pathways that ensure that teachers get strong preparation. He's offered service scholarships of $25,000 for people who will come into teaching, a free ride to get prepared to teach in high-need locations and high-need schools, as well as ensuring that they get access to all of the professional learning supports throughout their career.